Well, the FBI was gravely concerned that there was information missing from this memo, that it actually was dangerous in setting a precedent in terms of disclosing classified information, and it could actually hurt future intelligence efforts. How do you respond to that and to Chris Wray?
Difficult facts make for really bad precedent. I hope this is a one-off. I hope it is a one-off that Congress takes this position, but I also hope it's a one-off that a FISA application contains errors and product that is funded by a political opponent. I hope that's a one-off. So
that's the Steele dossier that you are pointing to there.
But it's both the Steele dossier and who paid for it and whether or not it was vetted, but it's also what was not in. This is an application to a court. So I get that Adam Schiff and others are worried about what's not in my memo. I wish that they were equally concerned about what's not in the FISA application, which is a lot of really important information about the source and his subsources, and the fact that he was hired by the DNC and the Clinton campaign, and the fact that he was biased against President Trump. That is all information that the finder of fact is entitled to.
Now, we should dig into this because you are, from my understanding, the only Republican investigator on the House Intelligence Committee who actually viewed the FISA applications, everything that went into essentially putting together this memo. So when you're talking about this Steele memo, you are not saying that it was the sole piece of evidence used to justify these 4 authorizations of the surveillance warrant, are you?
No. It was not the exclusive information relied upon by the FISA court.
Would it have been authorized were it not for that dossier?
No, it would not have been.
How can you say that? Because it was authorized 4 times by separate judges, right?
Right, and the information was in there all 4 times. And the judge doesn't do independent research. So it's up to the Department of Justice to tell the judge, by the way, we have learned that Chris Steele told Bruce Orr that he would do anything to keep President Trump from winning. By the way, we need to let you know Chris Steele's been dismissed as a source for the FBI. There are 3 Republicans that have seen every bit of information, 3 of us. Bob Goodlatte, the chairman of Judiciary, Johnny Ratcliffe, who was a former terrorism prosecutor and U.S. attorney in Texas, and me. All 3 of us have total confidence in the FBI and DOJ to be able to do the jobs that they have been assigned. We have confidence in Bob Mueller, and we have serious concerns about this process. So we have all 3 of those things in common, including being concerned about what happened in 2016.
Should all the information in the FISA applications be publicly disclosed, declassified, so that people can make their own judgment and see what you've seen?
I think I'm going to defer a little bit to the Bureau and DOJ on, it's a long application. If there are sources and methods that are not already known that they think would jeopardize national security, I would defer to their judgment. The source that we revealed, Chris Steele, was about the least well-kept secret in America. So generally, I err on the side of transparency and disclosure. On the other hand, there's a reason that this process is usually confidential, and I don't want to set the precedent of all FISA applications being publicly seen.
Well, that's a concern in doing this memo, that you have set a new precedent.
I would argue that it's also somewhat unprecedented to rely on political opposition research to instruct and inform an application, and it's really bad precedent and unprecedented to not tell a court that a source has this level of bias. I mean, look at just the disclosure of who paid for it. They could have easily said it was the DNC and Hillary Clinton. That would have been really easy. I read the footnote. I know exactly what the footnote says. It took longer to explain it the way they did than if they'd just come right out and said, Hillary Clinton for America and DNC paid for it. But they didn't do that.
But short of that disclosure, you still would have believed this FISA surveillance warrant was justified? I mean, your problem is in the disclosure within the application, but the surveillance itself of this American Carter Page was named in your memo, who was at one point a Trump campaign associate. Was that justified, that surveillance?
We'll never know because the application contained 3 parts. It included the dossier. It included reference to a newspaper article, which, by the way, no court in America considers a newspaper article to be evidence. and it included other information they had on Carter Page. So what I would say to the FBI and DOJ is if you had enough on Carter Page with just him, why did you include something that the National Enquirer might not run? And why did you cite a newspaper article when there's no court in America that allows a newspaper article to be considered as evidence? If you had enough without it, why did you use it? That would be my question to them.
Were the judges political? 4 times this was approved.
No, the judges are only as good as what's put in front of them. Judges don't do independent research. So you're looking at a stack of paper.
This is an extensive process from what I'm told. I mean, this isn't just something people sign off on quickly. It's, you know, a sizable application with, as you said, multi-part information that's submitted.
But that's
were the
true
judges not doing their jobs?
No, I think they were. I mean, judges sign Title III applications all the time. They sign search warrants. They sign arrest warrants. There's a reason the affiant swears to the truthfulness of the underlying information. Judges can't then go research and say, well, gosh, I wonder if Chris Steele knew this all himself, or I wonder if he was relying on hearsay from subsources in Russia. That's not the judge's job. It is the FBI and DOJ's job to present full, credible information to the court. So I don't, look, I'll never miss a chance to blame judges if I can, because I was a former litigator. There's nothing judges can do about information that's not presented to them.
Now, your committee, the House Intelligence Committee, has said they have a second memo planned for release, this time about the State Department. What can you tell us about that?
That's news to me.
You didn't have a role in creating this memo.
I don't think there is a memo about the State Department. The way I
but
talked
Chairman Nunes has said that publicly.
I think what Devin said is there's a phase 2 of the investigation, and there is we do have concerns with a certain aspect of State Department involvement, and have serious concerns about it. It's not been public yet, so I think what Chairman Nunes meant is there's another aspect to the investigation, but if there's a second memo, I don't know about it.